Aloha, my name is Leiataua. Welcome to Hawaii's Best.
Aloha, welcome to Hawaii's Best. Here, you'll learn what to know before traveling as we discover Hawaiian culture, local businesses, and the experiences that make Hawaii one of the most incredible places in the world. And now, your host, Brian Murphy.
Aloha and welcome to episode 84 of Hawaii's Best. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a very special episode. I'm really excited for this one because this is something close to where I live in Southern California, and living in SoCal, sometimes it's hard to find some good island food, and I've accidentally found it, and it's only a few miles from my house. North Shore Plate Lunch is in the city of Norco, California, also known as Horsetown USA. And this is really cool. I love stories about local businesses and especially Hawaiian-owned local businesses, and I really wanted to share their story with you. So a few weeks ago, we got together on a Saturday morning and talked story about how North Shore Plate Lunch came to happen. You gotta check these guys out. Los Angeles is our third most downloaded city behind Honolulu and Tokyo. We got to do something about our Japan audience because Tokyo is just behind Honolulu as far as downloads for this podcast. So if you are from Japan, I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me, and I love to see how we can work together and bring Hawaii's Best to be more accessible in Japan. But anyways, you're in Southern California, you're in the Los Angeles area, or even the San Diego area. It's kind of in the middle, Norco. It's kind of where the 91 and 15 meet, just northwest of that area. And if you ever want to be transported back to the North Shore of Oahu, you got to check these guys out. To find all the info and all the details talked within this episode, you can go to hawaiisbesttravel.com/episode 84. That's 84. All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk story with the team over at North Shore Plate Lunch in Norco, California on Hawaii's Best. All right, North Shore Plate Lunch. We are in beautiful Norco, California, which is cool. We're like on location. And this is the very first time that we've done an on location in Southern California on the West Coast, not on the island. So before we even get into how this started and why it started and why Norco and all that, let's just go around. We have just your name and a little bit about what you do here at this restaurant.
Hi, good morning. Damon Leiataua. I'm one of the owners here. Don't have a specific job, I would imagine, but we do a bunch of stuff behind the stage, backstage, or whatever needs to be done. That's what I do. So
awesome.
Duane Anderson. We're both first cousins, so we come from the same family. And I am one of the owners as well, and I handle recipe creation, stuff like that. So.
Okay.
How's it, everybody? This is Sherelle. I'm the manager here.
So if you walk in, we usually see your face, yeah?
I'm here, yes.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go. Let's start with how this all started. Talk a little bit about the history, how the restaurant came to happen. Duane, let's start with you, man.
This is our first restaurant. Actually, a little bit of history. We were a catering company as of 2015. We mainly focus on a lot of the island festivals throughout the Southwest, and we always had the dream of opening up the restaurant. When we started the catering, the ultimate goal was to have a brick and mortar one day.
Oh, okay.
So while we were doing the catering, we were doing well on the side. We were doing a lot of festival activity. Once the COVID hit, then all that festival activity just dried up and went away. So for a couple of years, we laid dormant. And as we got older, my partner and I, my cousin, we started to think more about either we're going to pull the trigger on this or we're not.
Yeah.
So in May of 2022, which was last year, we were over there in Hawaii. We had went back to go lay to rest the ashes of my uncle, who is my mom's brother, his father.
My dad.
Okay.
in Leiataua, Hawaii, at the cemetery over there next to my mother and my father, many other family members, my nephews and them were all buried in the same area.
Yeah.
So we brought them back while we were there at our favorite beach, Turtle Bay. We're floating in the water.
Baby Beach.
And I look at my uso over here and I tell him, hey, Tole, we're either going to do this or we're not going to do this. What do you want to do? And he said, we'll do it, man. We'll do it. So when we were there, we decided, okay, we're going to do it. And I turned 50 last year. So that's what I told him. I said, I'm about to hit my, 50th birthday. Either we're going to rock and roll with this because it's a lot of work to do it. We knew the challenges that were going to come about if should we try to move forward and open up the spots. So and came back and we had a commitment with Promenade Elementary, which we've always taken part of their luau. And they had reached out to us prior to us going to Hawaii, and we committed to them, post-COVID. Now we're ready to go. We can do it. That we'll show up and we'll do your luau. It was the first time they were allowed to in a couple of years. We came back and we did that luau, and we decided, we are going to pull the trigger. We still had no plan. Yeah. We were still just kind of figuring out, see.
Right. There wasn't a restaurant that came before this. There wasn't a history of that.
We had no deals in place. We had no potential locations. We were nothing. When I say nothing, it's nothing of nothing. We had a catering license, a business license, an LLC, but nothing else. We hadn't talked to realtors or anything. So while we were over there, a friend of my sister-in-law, her name is Carla. She's a realtor. She was actually looking at this location for a different concept of a business. Didn't really work for her. While they came to that luau, they showed us the video. We were like, okay, cool. That looks like a good option. Within a week, we're already in negotiations for the place.
When Carla came over, showed us the video, we saw the video and we looked at each other. And was like, this is the place.
Like you felt it. Yeah.
Yeah,
we did.
It felt like the spot.
Right,
When you see
bro?
it. Yep.
I go,
yep.
This is it. And then actually, when we went back, cleaned up, unloaded everything that night, we actually drove by here. We said, let's go check it out at night. Let's just go see. So we drove by here, looped around, saw it at night.
It was still open, too. They had like a smoker going in the back.
They had a smoker going on in the back.
That's right. It was like
we
a
pulled in the
barbecue
back
place,
and someone was watching it. And they were looking at us like we were weirdos.
We were stalking them or whatever. But the next morning we woke up and then we came to this location and we had said, let's go have lunch there.
Yeah.
Now from an inside perspective, we looked at it and said, man, this feels good. It's an option.
It was totally different design. It was the whole concept.
Let's talk a little bit about that experience just walking in. I'm just trying to, because obviously this is audio and people don't have, we'll post some pictures and stuff, but try to give people a paint and picture. They walk in and what can they expect as maybe just from the front of the restaurant, then as they walk in, just a little bit about that experience.
If you come in here, you see the busted up parking lot. It's a single standing.
Just like
Hawaii.
I was going to say, it feels like the North Shore.
It feels like the North Shore. You're right. Then that's kind of the vibes. People have told us, you need to fix the parking lot. And then when we come on the side, we're like, we're not fixing that. We're going to leave
we
it.
see some
Just
chickens.
like that.
Beautiful imperfections to where you do feel like you're in a part of an island and, Hawaii and whatnot.
That's kind of the first thing you're going to see is you're going to pull up on this in Norco off of 3rd and Hamner.
Yeah.
Once you come in, you're going to be embraced with Aloha with my lovely wife, manager, partner over here.
So we brought Aloha to Norco.
It hasn't even been a year yet. Were you like all in?
I was all in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's their dream for many, many years for sure.
So what about for you managing the day-to-day grind? How has some of those repeat customers you've seen and first timers, like what are some impressions that people, at least the feedback that you get?
We get a lot of repeat customers. They love it. They love the Aloha spirit. They love island grinds, food.
Most of the chain island restaurants in SoCal, in the mainland period, they do what they do, and we wish them aloha prosperity. But what we felt is that there was a huge void in the market for authenticity. So we know a lot of our favorite spots back home, they got a lot on the menu. There's a lot going on. We knew coming into this, taking a business approach, because our goal is to expand eventually. We can't do everything under the sun, but what we can do is take the staples and do them the best we can, and then add those authentic things that we're missing. Like a lot of people, they come in, they ask for a Hawaiian plate, they want laulau, all that. We haven't even served laulau yet. We're almost 7 months in. We haven't served it yet. There's a reason behind that, because I can't get the fresh luau the way that we feel it needs to be served. Everything needs to be served fresh. We cook fresh. Our customer base they know that now. Initially, the wait appeared to be long. We're probably about 15-minute turnaround, less than that, most of the time. But when we get packed, it takes a little bit of time. We got a small kitchen, and our staff works really hard to deliver that authentic
but we make
experience.
it work.
Yeah, they make it work.
Now
It's
you
getting
got
better
people
by
that
the
come
day.
in, and they, if they wait 20 minutes, it's not even a thing, because they know everything was cooked fresh to order, and they know when they came in, and we greet them with aloha and a little bit of, about 15, 20 minutes, and they're all good. So I, myself, my cousin, my wife, my sister-in-law, none of us could find like a real saimin. So my wife is from Kauai, Hamura saimin. Sets the tone, right?
Yeah.
So we like, okay, we need to make a saimin that speaks to all the local people that have been around, or even the saimin when I used to go visit Laie when I was a kid, the saimin that would come off the Manapua truck that's in the styrofoam 32-ounce cup with the kamaboko and some eggs and spam. We knew just a simple broth with a good noodle, and then the kamaboko, the egg or spam, or the house-made char siu, which is my man over here to my right. That's his char siu. So we hang our hat on that. The broth too is his recipe. Mm-hmm. So we're proud to serve that. And when we get local people that come in and they eat it, and then just the expression on their face, they'll take the time to set the chopsticks down and come up to the front and say, "Hey, that's the one I was looking for."
Yeah,
so
we wanted to make
find
sure.
that.
We wanted to make sure the broth and the chashu was right, and it hit home. It sparks the memories when we were young. I mean, basically, North Shore Plate Lunch is like everything we liked growing up when we were younger. That's what we wanted to bring, to Norco now, right?
Yep.
Why the North Shore? Because that's where our family comes from. So to give you a little background on my cousin and I, we're first cousins. Our family comes from Samoa, originally from Western Samoa, then migrated to American Samoa, and then they migrated to Laie, Hawaii, where the same house is occupied by our first cousins. They're still there. That's the house that my grandfather brought all them over to. My mom, his father, and the many other siblings. They attended Kohuku High School before later on migrating further into Los Angeles area. I think it was Carson. We were in Carson at the time. And then that's where we came about. So we're part of the LA born and raised Leiataua family line.
Right.
But our roots were in Hawaii. So our hub, when we would go back to visit the family, it went from being Samoa to Laie, Hawaii. Strong connection that we always kept with that, like always going back for summers, or even my sisters went to school over there, and eventually I ended up marrying local guys from Laie and raising their families there. So my parents went back over there, and that's where they were laid to rest. So the connection became stronger. The bond was there. So that's why absolutely we had to represent that side. That's the only side we know.
Right. I remember seeing the flags out here. I'm like, oh, North Shore, cool. Like, I didn't think much of it at first. Okay, is this like the real deal? Because, in this area, you're thinking like, because there's some other ones like, okay,
that's true.
Like, is this real? Like, for real? Well, first when I walked in, oh, this feels right. You just feel it. I think Kimie was on or something like that. Like, you just feel it. It just felt right. It just felt, okay, there's a vibe happening. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We're waiting. And my little girl, she's like, how long is it going to take? I'm like, they're making, like, I got like a sense. I saw the guy cooking. I'm like, no, I think this is going to be good. No, it's going to be good. And she had it. But yeah, that's been my experience just coming in, off the street, like figuring, okay, this is like the real deal. And what about the Hawaiian community in this area? What type of feedback have you guys received in that?
Yeah. So since we've opened, we've had people come from San Diego.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. San Bernardino, like super far. They'll come and, you never know. Hey, I know you, from so many years ago.
Cousin. And yeah. Right.
So we run into all kinds of people, knows you and, knows your cousin and knows it's all family. They all come here. And they're so happy that there's a island place in the IE, like real kind, good food.
Right. So it's funny. We didn't really know there was a huge island community in Norco. And then when we opened, all of a sudden we have customers coming in and say, oh, I just live behind the restaurant. I never knew this was here.
Crazy.
Or we had a young gentleman coming here. He walks here and he shows up and he's all tatted up and it's like, oh, I just live down the street. So those are those things to where it's a pleasant surprise to where all of a sudden.
It's become somewhat of a meeting place for a lot of the islanders.
Oh, big time.
As well as the locals. So we gotta say something about Norco. So a lot of people said, why Norco? Why Norco? One, because that's the spot we found, and it was the spot that works. We live right here in Corona, but the Norco community, we were told when we came in, a lot of people said, if you're not from Norco, man, you're not going to make it. And we were like, well, we're committed, so we're going to go.
Undeniable support in the area where they support. They're like, oh, you're in Norco? We support our own. And it's great to see, especially in
small business
restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, small business.
And then us being Polynesian too, we saw Samoan, but we have Tongan family member, Hawaiian, and then Mexican, everybody married into the family, and it just extends out. So the extended family, the word gets out. Our family plugs us like nobody's business, man. Like, we run into so many people that are either from Hawaii, have lived in Hawaii experiences, or just in love with the Aloha. And they come in and they want to talk stories with us, and we're happy to do it.
There's some customers that come in on, at the beginning on Sundays and they go to Hawaii all the time and they come in and they just want to just hang out. And it's just great to see.
Feel the vibe.
And they want their fix for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that moment you were sharing earlier just about like, are we going to do this or are we not? I think a lot of those moments, sometimes we miss. And to like hear you guys actually do it is really inspiring.
The way it started is when we used to cook for our families. So we were like, Damon and Duane, can you guys cook? And cooking more and more and more for all the, and then in 2014, I had Manaya, the oldest, had a baby, and then she's diagnosed with the congenital heart defect. Basically, she was in children's hospital. Basically, what it is that arteries that feed the heart, they were inverted, reversed. So anyways, so we were in, I know I'm
he was living in the hospital.
Wow.
It was,
I bet,
she had 3 open heart surgeries before she was even, a year old. So even with that, even with the challenges he was facing, I even told him, Uso, you don't have to come. We'll take care of it. In our first gig, we thought it was like, holy crap, man, we're investing in 2 whole boxes of chicken. Are we going to make our money back?
We were like sitting out going, 80 pounds, man. Do you really think 80 pounds is going to be enough? But those are those learnings from the beginning to now. And we blew it out. So we have pictures of how it started, and then now when we're talking about it, and I look at Duane, look at you, and look at now.
But we put our plate lunch together. We sold out in 2 hours, but he was there. That's the whole thing. He showed up, and this is her right here, Manaya, come, say aloha to everybody.
Aloha.
And then she's alive and well.
She's alive and well.
So
yes.
It was like after that moment, we were like, all right, we're on to something. You know what I mean? We always were passionate about what we did. We knew what we do. We're not like cocky guys, but we're confident. I don't cook French food. I don't cook Italian food. I can do Samoan food, Tongan food, Hawaiian food. That's what I do. We don't do fusion stuff. You know what I mean? People have said, you need to fuse this. And I was like, I'll leave the fusion to the fusion guys. We keep it simple, man.
Let's talk a little bit about what a Hawaiian plate lunch is traditionally.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of plate lunch, even the verbiage of plate lunch, if you look at the banners out in the front, we have stuff that says Hawaiian barbecue. That was because everybody thought this place was like a nail place or something.
They thought it was a boutique.
Yeah, nobody knew what a plate lunch, but anybody from Hawaii or anybody that knows, they know what a plate lunch is. A plate lunch is a place. That's how food is served, whether it's for lunch, breakfast, or dinner. And it's pretty simple. 2 scoops of rice, mac, and whatever the protein is.
Yeah, protein, mac, and 2 scoops of rice.
And
man.
that's
and
local
style.
style.
Mac is ridiculous.
Don't get more local style. And then if you have a plate lunch or whack mac, take it back because it's no good.
Yeah, so we can go and sit back, and there's customers that come here, brings them home for a moment, remembering home or the islands for that particular time, either lunch or break or whatever it may be. that was the whole idea, and our part of it, at least.
Of course, we had to offer something that was synonymous with the North Shore, the garlic shrimp.
Right.
So we've eaten garlic shrimp all over the place. You know, Giovanni showed up to the North Shore back in the mid '90s. Actually, one of our nephews used to work on that truck back in the days too. But I've always loved Giovanni, so that's like, we got to do a good garlic shrimp. And then there's the other places down the road, Romi's, Fumi's, all those other places. Tried them all. So what we wanted to do is like, all right, let's take the garlic shrimp concept, but let's do it the way we wanted to do it. You
Absolutely.
know, let's use a little bit bigger of a shrimp. Let's use the 16 to 21 count, 6-7 pieces with the weight on it. The way we do it is we make the batter, we give it a little bit of a crust. So it's not like I want to say like soupy. So a lot of times when you eat that, a lot of garlic shrimp, sometimes it's just a straight raw looking shrimp and they give you a sauce to dip it in. And sometimes it's just smothered in a very thick and buttery and oily type of sauce. We wanted to kind of find the happy medium. So we wanted to get the shrimp to where we got a nice crust on it. You see how I'm talking about it, right? We're passionate about the food. We wanted the garlic has to be hand chopped. We're not using any pre-minced garlic. It has to be hand chopped. So you see those different irregularities in the sizing. And then we hit it with a nice quality olive oil and butter. And then we get the garlic in there and then we drop those shrimp, flip them and smack them with the lemon on the way out.
Fresh lemon.
Yeah, fresh lemon. And then we drizzle that, just like a lot of the garlic shrimp. You want that garlicky, buttery loveliness on top of your rice too, and with a lemon wedge, and out it goes. So we wanted to make sure that we competed with that. Of course, I'm a fan of ours. That's I'm always going to push ours. I love ours, but I love to experience everything. We love to see everybody prosper and keep doing their thing. So
Absolutely.
A loco moco was another one. We couldn't get a good loco moco to save our lives around here, so we start with like a brown gravy base, and then we add our little special touches to it. So it becomes our own little North Shore brand. That's why we like to express it, to share our North Shore NSPL, North Shore Plate Lunch brand of Hawaiian food. So.
All right, it is that time. It is time for Any Kind News. And on today's Any Kind News, we got Damon is going to do it for us. All right, man, go ahead and take it away.
On this edition, Any Kind News, Sea Life Park on Oahu has revamped and named its luau experience as a Aloha Kai Luau. The updated event, held Sundays through Fridays at Makapu'u Meadows, offers stunning ocean views through the east side of Oahu. The Aloha Kai Luau has expanded its cultural activities and performances with demonstrations as a ceremony presentation around the imu, where the kalua pork is cooked. All activities include coconut weaving, coconut tree climbing, hula, the Samoan fire knife dancing. The menu features kalua pork, teriyaki chicken, fish, chow mein noodles, and assorted cakes for dessert, while the bar offers mai tais, my favorite, beer, wine, and soft drinks. Due to the high demand of the Aloha Kai Luau, the Sea Life Park, it is essential to book well in advance. During the peak summer months, the event can sell out for weeks or even months ahead of time. Early booking ensures not only the best seating, but also the most competitive pricing.
Thanks, Damon. Let's go ahead and head back into our conversation with the team at North Shore Plate Lunch. Have you guys been able to pause or zoom out, like what's next, or like dreaming again? Or
it's funny how you brought that up. We have our weekly meetings, and then it came up and says, hey, we need to start. We have our key actions that we're doing for future as far as planning out for additional, for another location. Right now, we're just thinking about where's the right place to be timing wise, but most of our location, we'd love this unique spot. We'd like to find another unique spot, maybe close by the beach, but we don't really know where we're going to land. But the whole thing is to get it moving and start investing the time to plan for the second location.
Yeah. And not lose any, we want to stay consistent with the vibe. You know what I mean? That Aloha vibe has to stay, it's got to stay organic and natural, which I think that's just already embedded in who we are. Anything we do is going to be like that. I think so. But, the plan would be, in the next 10 years to have 20 of them out, SoCal, Arizona, Nevada, Nevada's a unique market because that's the ninth island. You always feel like you have one step in Hawaii and Nevada. There's a lot of spots to go eat. But with our concept, I think we can compete for some of the market share over there too.
Yeah.
But right now, SoCal being our home,
right?
That's where our focus is. This was the
Logistic
initial
wise.
one. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So now when we're looking at spring and summer for this year, we're going to partake in a bunch of events. We got PIFA coming up. So this is something new, and we're excited.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
That we're going to tap into, because we tried last year. We had to close the restaurant to do PIFA. And then this time we're going to stay open, and then do the additional events. Mind you, we got a ton of catering and great things that are happening for us.
It's been great, man.
There's this plaque that we've been looking at. It hangs in the restaurant. We're looking at it right now. It's a real plaque from the state of Hawaii House of Representatives. It says, "The House of Representatives, State of Hawaii, hereby presents the certificate to North Shore Plate Lunch for the grand opening of their new restaurant in Norco, California." Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing because that would take a little bit, but I'm going to post a picture of it. Guys, maybe if you could just summarize what this plaque is, what it means, and why is it important?
Definitely something that we hold very dear to our hearts. It was, I got to mention my sister-in-law and my brother, Junior, who presented this to us on our opening day, October 1st, 2022. And we were not aware about this document at all. And what it is, you'll see the picture, but what it is actually a signed document, an official document from the House of Representatives of the state of Hawaii, basically endorsing us for what we do and kind of spreading the aloha. It was very touching. I don't even know how they did it, who they know. They must know some people in high places, but Junior and Mata, we love you guys and thank you guys very much. You don't even realize how much we thank you for this certificate and how it makes us feel, because it just lets us know that we're doing the right thing. It even says it on here, value served in an environment of aloha now and therefore. So that kind of speaks loudly for us that
absolutely
we're able to do this. And I've never seen one in another local restaurant off the island, not even in the island, actually. So this is something we're extremely proud of, extremely humbled by, first and foremost. But it actually acknowledges like how we started our whole cooking journey.
This was just a fantastic honor to get presented this by my sister-in-law, Matalasi. We wanted to go and take a few moments and to talk about it briefly, and then just to go and show, most importantly, we want to convey the message of how grateful we are, and to where everybody's been working great to help validate this, and it's just to be recognized. It's just been a true blessing. So other than that, just very, very grateful and honored for this, especially to have it posted. We look at that every day, and it just keeps us grounded, and then it keeps us, like I said earlier in a ton of times, is we're just trying to get better every single day.
This is our badge of honor right here. And we promise to the state of Hawaii, the people of Hawaii, we will do anything and everything we can to always represent to the fullest, especially our North Shore Ainga, man, our family, man.
Agreed.
We got blood in the soil in Hawaii, so it's going to be a part of our life, part of our heart. So
anybody who comes on the podcast, I love to ask this question. Someone's traveling to Hawaii, maybe for the first time. What are maybe some spots? Let's talk about North Shore, Oahu. What are some spots people want to make sure they hit up on their travels?
Oh, for sure, man. Of course, I got to always go back to my default, Laie, Hawaii. That's where the LDS temple's at, the BYU Hawaii's there, the Polynesian Cultural Center, Hukilau Beach, which is, go back to old school Hawaii, going to the Hukilau. That's the beach they're talking about. Yeah. We're fortunate enough to have family roots from there, and then in Hawaii, and that little town, Laie, is very old school culture, like the Samoan presence, the Tongan presence, the Hawaiian presence is still very strong. So it's like, my recommendation is always go hit the North Shore. There's a luau that's over there called Toa Luau. That's a friend of ours too. He started a luau, and it's over there in Waimea Valley. Waimea Valley, when we used to visit as kids, we used to be able to go back there and swim in the river, jump off the cliff, and then they shut it down You know, if you go in, there's still like the same 3 families, old Hawaiian families that own their 3 houses. I think one of them is like sold to someone else, but there's still two families that have resided there from back in the days. When you go to this luau, Toa Luau, you're going to think like, oh, where is this place? Because it almost turns in almost like a reserve. Once you get back there, and they have this beautiful setup, they give you authentic experience with, they make a umu in front of you. But while the umu is being made, the beginning of the experience, you walk over there and they're peeling taro, husking coconuts, peeling bananas, and all that food that they're making, that you're like jumping in and experience husking and then grating the coconuts so they can make palusami and make the fresh pepe. You get to experience it being made. Then they circle everybody up and then they show when they uncover the umu and they start bringing that out. So you're like, you're experiencing authentic deal. And then after, wonderful, wonderful show, representation of all the islands, Samoa, Tonga, Tahiti, New Zealand. And then the MC is awesome. When I got to go back there, my niece, our niece, is one of my sister's kids, and my nephew, they dance in there. So we were able to go in and watch them dance and do their show. But it's so awesome. It's like, it's a long experience. It's like you plan for the day. And if you're staying in town, you're going to have to drive all the way around the island to the North Shore to Waimea Valley. But it's worth it. You know, Toa Luau, that's my recommendation when you go there. The North Shore plate lunch came about from many of the food places over there.
Right in that area.
So when you go up over there, you want a Samoan plate, you go hit Masa's Market over there in Haula, man. We used to get our poke from Tamura's. Remember, we would load up, we'd load up our Heinekens and our poke and go for a drive.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
For me, like if you say, if you're going to go to Oahu, I say North Shore, but lately for me is that go to Turtle Bay.
Oh, yeah.
There's a public beach section. There's Baby Beach. That's been my tranquility. That's where the conversation.
That's where the spot. Yeah, that's what you guys
That
said.
is like, I'm good when I go there.
That's the piece over there.
That's the spot. Place. That is for me the spot. I've grown to love it. Now the kids are older, just to sit back and the calm water and just that's a piece of heaven right there. Don't forget, Duane, you got to give a shout out to the Royal Hawaiian. If you're gonna go Waikiki, we stay at Royal Hawaiian, but you got to go by the bar.
Sam.
You got to go see Sam over there. Sam the man.
He knows what's up.
He
will make you. He may make you a Mai Tai with a floater that'll forget about it.
Those things are strong, man. You better be careful.
Sam,
it's a creeper.
If you're out there and you're mean, give us a call.
Turtle Bay is funny because we had so many experiences going over there. Like, I think it was during my mom's funeral back in 2012. Our family went back there. We were staying over there and I went swimming and I had goggles and I went into the rock that's out there and I seen sea urchins all over that thing. So the very next day, my sister came with her kids, grabbed a bunch of butter knives and goggles and fins, and we had the little bag that you put the fins in, and we went out there and we started popping those sea urchins off, and we're walking out of the water with a bag full of sea urchins, and all the tourist people were looking at us like we're crazy. Like, you can fish over here. Like, hey, that's a lot of money saved right there. Those sea urchins are expensive.
What's your favorite spot out there in Waikiki to eat?
In Waikiki?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're in Waikiki, there's something magical about that spot, like at the Royal Island Vintage.
Where's that at?
It's right next to it's in the center there, the Royal Hawaiian Center. But it's like a coffee spot, but they have this Island Vintage wine.
Oh, really?
And the food there is so good. You like overlook the courtyard area of the Royal.
Is that the one that's out and there's 2 stories where all the restaurants are there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that place is pretty good.
Get a chance to go there.
Duke's on the bottom, and what's the one on the top? Got another name, but I think they still own it. I think Duke's
Hula's.
Hula Grill. I like Hula Grill too.
Yeah.
What's the one where they had the plate lunch in the box where we would normally go, and then now we haven't gone in a minute?
It's like a Rainbows.
Rainbows.
Okay,
Rainbows was my spot.
Like, man,
back in the day, you'd say,
plate.
Damon, where's your spot? Yeah. Rainbows. That was it for me.
Well, guys, thank you so much again for your time and bringing the islands here in SoCal. Appreciate you guys and what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And it's been a great pleasure just to be a part of this.
Your pipeline to original island grinds.
Well, I just want to say a big mahalo to the team over at North Shore Plate Lunch and for their time and hospitality and for doing what they're doing in the heart of Southern California and representing Hawaii. And I just want to say thank you so much. So for me, it was a good reminder to, even though if you're not on the island and maybe you're dreaming of or visiting Hawaii again soon, visiting local business like North Shore Plate Lunch, one, it kind of transports you back to the islands and just get the good vibes and the aloha and the food. But it also goes to supporting local, and that is super important wherever you're at in your community, supporting local. And if you love Hawaii, supporting local Hawaiian businesses is equally important. So thanks so much again for joining me on this special episode. And to find everything that we talked about, you can go to hawaiisbesttravel.com/episode 84. That's 84. And until next time, friends, be well. Aloha.
Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, please subscribe and visit us at hawaiisbesttravel.com.